from my research, leasing started around the 1930s in Texas. And again, if you're regional, if you're in the Midwest or you're out east somewhere, you have to envision the geography of our country. In down south in Texas and Louisiana, Mississippi, there are giant swaths of forest land. Well, naturally, all of that land was bought up by large lumber companies, timber companies, back early on in the 1900s. In Texas, they had large landowners that had hundreds of thousands of acres. Well, trappers went to the large landowners and said, hey, can we trap on your ground? We're literally just trying to scratch out a living here, selling pelts and furs and that sort of thing. And they worked an agreement out. They said, sure, for a price, you can access our ground. The timber companies then, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, they kind of caught on to that. And like, what a great arrangement. It's a way for our ground to produce revenue while, we're waiting on timber to grow or anything like that. So in essence, that's the start of leasing. It obviously migrated up to the Midwest and out east and all those. The difference being in the Midwest, the farms are smaller. They were family farms. They were family operations, whether they were, just ag or whatever. They were 100 acres. They were 200 or 300 acres tops, not thousands and thousands of acres. And so what had happened is the farms in the Midwest were already being hunted by somebody for free. They were already letting friends and family were already on there. It wasn't that big a deal. Then they learned, the landowners learned of the value of the ground itself, of just access. Started to get into leasing, probably 40 or 50 years ago, but it really took hold 20, 25 years ago. And since then, it's just blossomed. And it's going to continue to blossom. It's going to have a real effect on our sport in a positive way.
And that's what I think people need to understand is our ideology really centers around you need to take care of the landowner. We kind of touched on it in episode 1 where you buy your bows and your trucks and your scent gear and just everything that is involved with hunting. And it gets expensive, and we know it. And it was, $12 billion or something was spent in just gear alone. And our premise is you need to take care of the landowner. Hunting, in my opinion, is a privilege. And if I want to use someone else's resource, I should have a responsibility to take care of that person.
In anything you do, right? Anytime you ask for access or you ask to use somebody's, what they pay for, they should expect some sort of compensation. We're not saying it should be an exorbitant fee. We're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars at all. We're just simply saying that in the line of products you purchase, access is a product. It is something you have to have. That the landowner should be at the front of the line, not the back of the line.
Yep.
So, and I'll mention all the brands like Hawk or Ozonics or Summit or Under Armour or Sitka, all those products that we buy. I like them all. If I can buy them, I will buy them. But somebody at some point has to say, wait a minute, we got to pay the landowner first.